On this channel, I spend a lot of time with flagship tech, the best of the best, as you would say. But let's be real, not everyone wants or needs to drop over £200 or dollars on a pair of open earbuds, right? Especially if they're going to live at the bottom of a gym bag. Sometimes you just want something that works, sounds all right, and doesn't give you a heart attack if you accidentally drop them. Enter the SoundPeats Clip 1. So SoundPeats sent me over their latest open earbuds for me to review. Now, full disclosure, I have full creative control, no money is exchanged hands, and SoundPeats is watching this review for the first time right now, exactly when you are. So can a budget pair actually compete in a market obsessed with premium? Or are the compromises too big? Let's dive in. First, let's talk builds. Usually when you drop down to this price point, things start to feel a little plasticky and scratchy. And honestly, the case fits that description. It feels a bit hollow, the hinge is basic, and it definitely screams budget. There isn't that satisfying weighted click you get with a flagship. I will say this though, the case is on the bulky side. If you put it in your pocket, it does stick out a bit. But if you're someone who carries a backpack or a work bag, it's honestly a non-issue. However, once you get the buds out, the story changes. The actual units don't feel cheap at all. They weigh 5 grams each and use a flexible memory wire that adapts to your e-ship. They weigh just 5 grams each and use a flexible memory wire that adapts to your ear shape. SoundPeats calls it the N-Flex arch, but in normal human terms for me and you, it just means it doesn't pinch. You genuinely forget they are there. And here is where the design actually beats some of the expensive competition, specifically glasses wearers or people who wear sunglasses. Most open ear buds use a giant hook that wraps around the back of your ear, right? Which fights with your glasses for space. These clip on to your ear cartilage, leaving the back of your ear completely free. If you wear specs, this budget design is arguably superior to the premium hooks. No clashing, no pain. Now, usually budget tech is dumb, right? You'd expect to lose the smart sensors to save cash. But these have a feature that I honestly think every earbud, even the more expensive £300 or dollar ones, should have. SoundPeats calls it Autosense. What does that mean, right? Well, you know how you always have to check for the little L and R on your earbuds? With these, you don't. You just grab them. So let me just mix these around. Stick them in on any ear. So let's say this one goes in this ear. There you go. And this one goes in this ear. Once you've stuck them on any ear, the sensors figure out which is left and which is right automatically. It is surprisingly convenient. They also kept wear detection. Take one off, the music pauses. Put it back on, it plays. Again, that is a pro feature that somehow survived the budget cuts. Battery life is also pretty good. You get 8 hours on a single charge and 40 hours total with the case. That is basically a full work week without plugging them in. But we have to talk sound here, because it's obviously quite important. This is where the price difference usually shows up. But surprisingly, they support high-res audio, LDAC, and even Dolby audio. The vocals are pretty clear, and the 12mm drivers do a good job. However, here is a reality check. Don't expect deep, rumbly bass. I mean, I guess without a seal, physics kind of takes over. You would lose that sub-bass punch. I think it's great for pop and podcasts, but if you're someone who loves bass, this won't shake your skull like a flagship pair would. But I think for me, and at this price point, they sound okay. Okay, remember in the intro, I asked if the compromises were too big, like the build quality of the case, and maybe the sound not sounding as premium as some of the flagship pairs out there from some of the more premium brands. Well, here is where we pay the price for that budget tag. And some of it is down to the software experience. To get the good stuff like enabling Dolby or LDAC, you need the app. But the app is rough. I found some random Chinese text dotted around the menus that hadn't fully been translated yet. I literally just had to use Google Translate on another phone just to understand what I was clicking on. I think that it's something that just can be changed and refined in the future software update just to make it a bit more friendlier to the Western market, so it's not such a big deal. But I also had some issues initially trying to upgrade the firmware on the earbuds. It would work up until a certain point, stall, and then fail again. I guess after a few attempts, I just gave up. I did the whole turn it off, turn it back on, unpair it from my phone, repair it, reinstall the app. And after a few attempts, it finally did work. And to be honest, I guess it's something that the company has actually worked on and got right now. It's just my experience of some of the obstacles that I had along the way of actually testing these for a good few weeks. And I guess that's the difference between a more premium brand versus a company who's a bit more budget conscious. You have some of these bugs that probably need to be ironed out. I mean, the hardware is great. It's just the software that feels unfinished and a bit rough around the corners. In addition, they disabled the single tap control to stop accidental touches, I guess. So in the app, you kind of have to choose between volume control, play or pause, or change tracks. It's a bit of a friction point because you do have to keep reaching for your phone if you want to turn it up, especially in the more louder environments. That's just something I thought you would like to know as well, and something that I had to kind of figure out as I was using the actual earbuds myself. However, they did redeem themselves with one productivity feature, Multipoint Connection. You can pair these to your laptop and phone simultaneously. If you're working from home, you can take a Zoom call on your laptop and then seamlessly switch to a podcast on your phone when you want to walk away from your desk and go to the kitchen to grab a snack. And at this price point, I think that's a huge win. So, does a budget pair compete with the flagships? If you're someone who's a bit of a tech snob and needs polished software, perfect apps, and deep bass, answer's no. The unpolished app will drive you crazy. But if you're looking for that pair for your teenager so they don't lose your expensive ones, or you want a sweat-proof pair for the gym, I mean, they are IPX5 water resistant, by the way, or you just want open-ear audio without the open-ear tax, then the SoundPeats Clip 1 is probably the smartest compromise you can make. You get the comfort and the utility, you just have to forgive the rough edges to save yourself $150, £200 or dollars. I'll add some specs in the description so you can have a look yourself to see what you think. And I'll also add a link if you want to purchase a pair. I'm Maz, and this is MazTechCentral, where I like to keep tech simple and accessible for everyone. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do because I have a whole load of videos coming up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.